This is a video tutorial for the infinity striped scarf. So here we have an example of mustard colored scarf. So I'm using a solid color. And it consists of about 9 to 10 rows of half double crochet stitches. I'm using US crochet terms. The base of the scarf consists of 120 chains. You can use half double crochet all throughout, or maybe the last row you can use a single crochet or slip stitches. Apart from using mustard, of course, you can use other colors. So these are just some other examples. This is West Yorkshire Spinners Retreat Chunky Wool. So let's start. We're using 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. In this example, after we do a slip knot, you should make 120 chains, but in this video I'm simply going to use 20 chains. So after the slip knot we count 20, but for you at home, please make 120 chains. Another name for the half double crochet stitch, in UK crochet terms, it's actually called half treble crochet stitch. It is up to you, of course, what you're going to use. Here, what we're going to do is we're going to connect the two ends and then make a slip stitch. So insert your hook in the beginning of your project and simply slip stitch through both loops. And then we're going to chain 2, and then we do a half double crochet, which is yarn over, insert your hook in the first stitch, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 3 loops. So this is your first half double crochet. Let's do it again. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 3 loops on your hook. So for the first row, you should have, for your case, 120 half double crochet stitches. But for our example here in our video tutorial, I should be able to make 20 stitches of half double crochet stitches. So half double is yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 3 loops. So we're coming over to the end of the first row. So the last space here, this is where you're going to put the last half double crochet stitch. And don't mistake this last loop over here, because that's the turning chain to connect the two ends. And then you look for this stitch here, the top of the first, your first HDC, and then slip stitch. So this is your first row. Now from here we're going to be inserting all our stitches into the back third loop. So this is the first loop, second loop, and that's the third loop. Okay, and this gives us a nice texture. This is why we like the half double crochet stitch. So chain 2 as a turning chain, yarn over, insert your hook on the third loop, so it's like the back stitch essentially. So right here, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 3 loops. So essentially it's half double crochet stitch, but instead of inserting it through the stitch as normal, we insert it at the back stitch, at the back loop. Okay, so yarn over, so that's the back loop right there. Yarn over, insert your hook into the back loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over again, and pull through 3 loops. So there's the back loop. That's where you want to insert your stitch. So yarn over, insert through that back loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 3 loops. So that's the back stitch. Here's where we want it to be. That's the back stitch right there. So yarn over, insert through that, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 3 loops. Now this is why the half double crochet stitch is quite popular for designers, because it gives us a nice texture, which we'll see some more in a bit. So here's our final half double crochet for row number 2. So first loop, second loop, and then there's the back loop, and that's only a turning chain here. So yarn over, insert to the back loop there, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 3 loops on the hook. And then we look for the top of the first HDC, and this is where we slip stitch to finish row number 2. So you keep doing this, the same process for every row up to the last. Now there's an option of changing the last row. So if you have made 120 chains for the base at the start of your scarf, I would say you will be having 9 rows of half double crochet stitches, and then your last row could be either a single crochet row or a slip stitch row. Now the reason why I would actually prefer changing it up for the last row, it just makes the texture of the scarf a bit on the tighter side. So it just makes it, for me, it's got a better look to it. Okay, so don't make a mistake of making a half double crochet here. That's just the turning chain. So insert your hook at the top of the first stitch of your row to finish that row. So here's our third row of HDC. So here we can see the texture of our little scarf. So here's our first alternative. So chain 1, and we're going to be working single crochet stitches again on the back loops. So you insert every time on the back loops. Okay, so insert hook, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. So single crochet stitches. If you are more inclined to using UK crochet terms, this is called a double crochet stitch. But personally, I grew up on US terms. So you can change the last row to this one, single crochet stitches throughout. So in your case, that should be 120 single crochet stitches. Okay, and then insert your hook into the top of the first stitch of that row and then slip stitch. Another way to end this is a slip stitch row. So I'll show you. Take that one out. And we still need the chain 1 actually. So chain 1. Insert your hook into the back loop again and then slip stitch. Always in the back loop. So not on the first loop or second loop, we insert it into the back loop, the third loop of your half double crochet on the previous row. So slip stitch. Now the difference between a slip stitch and the single crochet stitch is that you don't actually see much of this last row. So after you finish this row of slip stitches, of course you need to end it by slip stitching at the top of the beginning stitch and cut your yarn, and then you need to weave in your ends. So make sure you secure your yarn before you fasten off. And that's it. This is your infinity stripe scarf. I'll see you in the next video tutorial for our crochet projects.